When we think of Saab, we think of solid, dignified, dependable saloon cars that are just a little bit different to the German norm. The car that arguably cemented that reputation was this, the 99. But how does it stack up today? Is it as good as we all think Saabs were? Well, to find out, I've put my best Scandinavian crime drama jumper on, and we're going to take this 99 Auto for a drive and find out. But first, our friends at Lancaster Insurance are running monthly giveaways. You can win all sorts, from experience days to tools, restaurant vouchers and tech. So click the link below at the end of the video to enter their latest competition. After a slightly sketchy start in the car making world, Saab had finally found its feet with the 96. Over its life, it sold over 500,000 cars in multiple international markets. But the 96 was starting to show its age, and for many, it was just a bit too small and a bit too weird. So Saab decided their next car would be bigger and more competitive against German rivals like BMW and Mercedes. Now, every day in Sweden has got a name in honour of it. For some, it's a religious festival, for others, it's a god, for others, it's a meal. Now, why is that relevant to this car? Well, the name given to the 2nd of April is Gudmund, and development of the 96's successor started on the 2nd of April 1964. So Saab decided the project will be codenamed Gudmund. Saab were determined that the new car be bigger than the 96, and indeed the first working prototype of Project Gudmund was created by sawing a 96 in half down the middle and widening it by 20 centimetres. Now that car went on to gain the nickname Padden, which is Swedish for toad, and when you look at it, you can kind of see why. The first all-new body prototype for the new car, which would be called the Saab 99, was actually badged Daihatsu. Saab wanted to keep the car under wraps until it was ready for release, so they took existing badges that they made and rearranged it to spell out the name of the Japanese car maker. And the new Saab, would be powered by a new engine. It was decided that the existing two-stroke and Ford V4 units wouldn't be powerful enough to haul along the bigger car that the 99 had become. So ultimately they struck up a deal with Triumph to use their 1.7 litre and then later 1.85 litre Slant 4, but using a Zenith Stromberg carb in Saab form. Unfortunately, striking up a deal with part of British Leyland turned out to bite Saab in the backside. There were a lot of very early on reliability concerns with the Triumph engine 99. So by 1972, Saab had taken engine production in-house with their very own 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol. And it must be said, it's a sweetie of an engine. It's turbine smooth, it's plenty torquey enough, and even paired to this slightly low-geared automatic that we've got here today, it's fantastically smooth. It really pulls the thing along nicely. It's not a creamy BMW 6-cylinder by any means, but it's utterly unobtrusive, and it really does suit the mature, refined nature of this car. Any car built for Sweden has got to survive snow, ice, and quite often unpaved rural roads. And what that means is when you drive the 99 on your typical British road, it composes itself fantastically. The non-power steering is a bit heavy when you're at low speeds, but when you're up to speed like this, it feels really nice. It's got a good weight to it, and you've got a good idea of what the front wheels are doing, which is unusual for a non-sporty car like this. The ride is glorious. It's fantastically smooth, planted, doesn't fidget over undulations, and the refinement is fantastic. There's no squeaks, no rattles, and these brown velour seats that I'm in are just superbly comfortable. It's like being in your front room. Now, early on, Saab had developed a reputation for quirkiness, and the 99 was no exception. This is a front-wheel drive car, but if we come back to a shot of the engine, you can see that it's in the engine bay longitudinally, like a rear-wheel drive car. And that's because, for reasons that are only apparent to Saab, the clutch is at the front of the engine. The gearbox is underneath the engine, and then drive goes to the gearbox by a triplex chain. The engine being behind the gearbox reduced the weight on the nose, and it allowed Saab to fit equal-length drive shafts, which reduced torque steer, particularly an issue if you're on a slippery, icy Swedish road. So what appeared wild on paper actually makes a lot of sense in the real world. But being a front-wheel drive car with a longitudinal engine was just one slice of weirdness in the 99. The next was its design. Look at that clamshell bonnet that wraps around into the front of the wings, and this steeply raked wraparound windscreen with these upright and surprisingly thin A-pillars. It all adds up to better aerodynamics. It means the 99 cuts through the air a lot smoother than, for example, a typical BMW. And that means less wind noise, more refinement, and better fuel economy. And those carefully thought out functional lines made the 99 a rather handsome looking car as well. For sure, it's not quite as sharp-suited and contemporary as a BMW or an Audi, but it's got a style all of its own. There really is a quirky charm to the way this car looks. Now, if you don't think of fighter jets when you think of Saab, you probably think safety. And indeed, the 99 was one of the first Saabs to really embrace that idea. It featured crumple zones, front and rear, that would absorb the impact of a crash, and from 1971, it had pedestrian impact absorbing bumpers. That one was particularly significant. American insurance company Allstate challenged car makers to build a vehicle that could take a 5-mile-an-hour frontal impact and a 2.5-mile-an-hour rear impact without damage, and if it succeeded, they'd reduce premiums on that car by 15%. Only one car managed it, and thanks to those chunky bumpers, it was indeed the Saab 99. Sporting those bumpers meant the 99 was also a year early for the infamous federal bumpers requirement in the United States. Not to mention, it went about it a lot more elegantly than some other cars. It's been said before that when Saab went rallying, they didn't actually need to fit a roll cage, in fact. They had to because it was legislation, but these pillars were so strong because they're designed to pull the car out of a ditch in the event of a slippery ice incident in Sweden, that actually you'd have got away without a roll cage. Now, safety and comfort and refinement is one thing, but the 99 had a fun side too. Because in 1978, we got the Saab 99 Turbo with a boosted version of this 2-litre engine. That meant 143 horsepower and a top speed of 124. Combine that with some turbo graphics, some fantastic alloy wheels, and some spoilers, and Saab were cool. The 99 Turbo was a pocket rocket to aspire to own. Small wonder, in fact, that Saab sold 10,000 99 Turbos in less than 9 months. And it wasn't just the roads where the 99 was exciting. In fact, it won Rally Sweden in 1977 and 1979. Its composed handling, its smooth ride, and its reliability made the 99 a perfect rally car, and it went on to be part of Saab's extensive history of rally championship wins. But even beyond all the boy racer turbo stuff and the exciting rally action, the 99 was a fantastic car. It wasn't just safe and comfortable and refined, but it was well thought out. And even if you've never driven a car older than 2020, you could hop in a 99 today, look at this clear, straightforward, well laid out dash, and immediately know what you were doing. And yet, there's enough quirkiness, enough Saab oddness, to give this car a real character to it. From that wraparound windscreen to the clamshell bonnet, and the fact the steering wheel doesn't quite come out of the dashboard straight, so you're sort of driving along like this. It all adds up to give this car a real character, a personality that a BMW of the era just doesn't have. The 99's quirky competence convinced over 600,000 people to buy one, and many of those people went on to either keep their cars for life or to be repeat Saab customers, because for them, no one else did this blend of cool weirdness but all-round practicality and safety quite so well. These days it is a left field classic. You're not going to see a 99 every day or even at every classic car show, but hunt one out, because these days it's a completely usable classic that's a bit left field and will still put a smile on your face, and no matter what it's like outside, it will get you home and it won't let you down. Consider the Saab 99. It might be a Swede, but it's no turnip. This video is proudly sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Give them a call on 01480 400 889 for an insurance quote on your classic car. And don't forget to click the link below to enter their latest competition.